Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Tuesday. So we've got Amy Fulmer, the grief goddess, dropping some new truth bombs on us today. We're wondering what's going on. She's expanding it to the world for these new truth bombs. We're seeing what's happening all over the world. I think people have had enough. They're standing up, and maybe some Sharpie Gate too. So we'll be right back. You guys give us a like and share this video. I'll be right back with Amy Fulmer, the grief goddess. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. It's live somewhere else on my computer. I apologize. I was late jumping in, and so I have no idea. Are you guys able to hear that feedback? Oh no. It's playing on another thing in my computer somewhere, and I have no idea. Oh, this is a nightmare. This is why you shouldn't be late to your own show, people. Lord have mercy on my soul. And now I'm hearing myself apologize to myself.
Lisa, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear?
Okay. It says you're live. Okay, you are live on my phone with 20 people watching right now on YouTube. As you're live, okay.
I found it. I was live also on Pilled. So welcome to the Pilled community also. I have to mute it so we know that we're streaming live on Pilled and on the Foxhole app, but I can mute it over there. So much better. I was sorry. We had like a little chaos at the Davis household today. Cannon and I were cleaning carpets and all kinds of things. So, Amy, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Lisa. This is really weird. I have a new interface, so I can't see you at all. I can't see my screen.
Oh,
Yeah. Like I can't see anything.
okay.
So I won't even know what I'm looking at when you're putting stuff up on the screen.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that. So I'll kind of
Can you
let you
readjust
know
me?
what we're looking at. Yeah.
Okay. If you can like go back to the old format, I don't know if you can, because I can't
Sure.
I can't see anything, and God help us all.
It'll be great. We'll work through it. No problem.
So anyway, everybody, oh my God, what a week, man! What a week! We have global unrest. We have the people waking up at an epic rate. We had one of the most riveting hearings. If anybody did not see the Arizona, Maricopa County, Cyber Ninjas Senate hearing, it was riveting. And oh, by the way, as they were posting it live on YouTube, it kept taking down, then they kept putting it up, and then finally it sticks. That was unbelievable. So that's happening. There's so much going on right now, but what I want to start with, and please, you guys work with me. I'm a little disoriented because I'm used to seeing certain information on the screen to direct me, and right now I don't see it. I want to talk about, Lisa, that Italy film that you sent me.
Yeah.
And we'll start with that. And if you click on that, it'll be interesting to see if I can
Okay.
actually
So we're
view it.
sharing the tweet that I shared, and this was really encouraging. So we saw France and Greece, and then this was this morning. I woke up and I saw that Italy was rising up, and this is about the lockdowns from the illness. And of course, it doesn't want to play when I click on it. There we go. So they are saying, we've had enough. And I'm actually really encouraged. They're very peaceful, but just saying this is enough. Um,
I
the
mean, guys, look at the amount, Lisa, here. I mean,
mhm.
this and the same protest on the Champs-Élysées under the Arc de Triomphe in Paris a couple days ago. This is not a handful of people here. This is not the kind of people that show up at a Biden rally. You know what I mean?
They're not
Sorry.
just lining one edge
Right.
of the
There's not like
street.
10 people there, you know. I had to throw
Right,
that out, you guys.
right.
Sorry. It's my
No,
way
I'm
of
with you.
venting my frustration. So, what Lisa, why I love this so much is that, and can you guys answer in the chat? Can you, in other words, I can't see this. Do you guys see it normal? Can you see the film large and live as Lisa posts it? And Lisa, if you can read it, read the comments, because I'm completely blocked from everything right now. I just want to make sure everybody's seeing these slides because I can't see them.
Yeah, they're able to see it.
Okay, perfect. What I think this is so completely revealing. I will promise you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. And this is because of the infection. And these are people in what are traditionally liberal, socialist type environment countries that are basically saying, no, we're not with it. I mean, Macron came out, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago, and said every single person in France, in order to function, is going to have um, the uh,
Jab.
the jab, right?
The prick.
Yeah, and if any of you guys know France, it's notorious sort of liberal. You know, they kind of go with a socialist
And very
agenda.
apathetic,
The apathetic,
typically. Yeah.
exactly.
So that was when we saw the flood of these people coming, and that's what it's really inspiring to see these people coming together because this is making it not political. It's really bringing people together.
Well, it is, Lisa, exactly.
So
And
that's really encouraging.
this isn't just America. I mean, this is a really global movement.
Hmm.
And what I love about it, like you said, these are very peaceful. They're starting out very peaceful. We always want peace. Um, but they're showing that there's a massive amount of people. So the mainstream rhetoric of like you're considered some radical tinfoil hat Trumper because you're an anti-vaxxer. This dispels that narrative.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's not once, it's just, I don't know. That's what, as you're saying this, and as we're seeing, like I said, Italy, Greece, France, I'm really surprised that the Canadians haven't stood up yet and said enough. Because, I mean, when I see Trudeau sitting there saying, well, you're going to need 8 pricks, and the Canadians are going, okay.
I know, right?
It's like that. I mean, I'm just kind of shocked. Um, but I'm not, the only Canadian I know is Jean-Claude. So, but I just don't see it happening. So, maybe it has to happen like in the waves like that. So,
Well, yeah, and as I said, the good news is what's left on social media. You guys, this is so powerful because we all feel, I have to say this, the fact that Maricopa has not come out with a preliminary read on the audit is at this point to me a blatant admission to the
mhm.
fact that DJT, can I say that? Orange Man won Arizona. I mean,
So,
it,
and I hope I'm not jumping ahead. I wasn't able, like I said, we were very busy at the Davis household today, and so I haven't been able to read the information that you've sent
it's
with your
okay.
research from this weekend. But I heard there was someone had like filmed somebody, um, you know, candid camera kind of thing where they were like, it doesn't matter whether it's not within the capability of this I think it was a senator or something. It's like, we can't pull, even if we pull the electors back, it doesn't make, 45 win anyway. That's not how there's not a mechanism. Like, we're in kind of
Okay.
we're in the uncharted territory
Tory.
thing or
Yeah.
whatever. And so there, um, I don't know what the procedure is or what the mechanism is. And so I'm just curious, like, are we even there yet? Are we even, is that the next step? Is that we pull the electors back? Do we even know what that next step is?
Okay, and I think we're going to go through some information. That's great
Okay.
because
That'll,
but I'm going to answer right now because I think we're all kind of working through this together.
yeah.
This is getting messy now. And Karen Fan I don't want to say she did a rug pull, but a couple of days ago, she came out and said, listen, let me get this on the books. The
Yes. I
Arizona,
remember hearing this.
yeah, the Arizona Senate Congress has no constitutional authority to decertify the
Okay.
election. Now, that decertify has a certain legal meaning. Okay. Now, then there's a couple of senators and congresspeople from Arizona that I follow who jumped in and said, that's not true. So now we're getting into the real mechanics of the state of Arizona Constitution. I'm going to go with what Karen Fan said, but what everyone agrees on, Lisa, right now, and this is going to take the full forensic audit report to come out, which is going to be interesting. Unless, now this is what the preliminary constitutional experts are saying, and Karen Fan is saying, unless there is fraud proven in a court of law as a result of the full forensic report.
Okay.
Once fraud is introduced, that is criminal, and then it redacts or pulls back legally everything that happened.
So that's what I was hearing, is that she was saying that we don't make the action, we do the report,
Yes.
and then we give that to the court. But then I keep seeing this fraud, and I want to say the word is vitiates
Yes.
every
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Yes.
So then basically we don't have a president at all, is my understanding.
Well,
But
okay, this is when
now
we
I'm
get,
really getting ahead of myself.
yeah, but don't worry. We want to have an open flowing conversation because I think this is coming
Okay.
to all of our minds at this point. I
Right.
mean, it is so evident to me at this point. If anybody has half a functioning brain cell at this point, we know what happened in the preliminary report. We know that Trump won Arizona. Now, here's the interesting part, Lisa, that keeps coming back to me. Why is Maricopa County and Board of Supervisors not providing the routers and certain other passwords to access the data? Without, this is what Karen Fan said a couple days ago on Twitter. She said, without that data, we cannot complete an audited full forensic report. Interesting. So she gave them, meaning the Maricopa County, till the end of this month to provide the routers and the passwords.
Okay.
Now, she's doing that for a legal maneuver. The Cyber Ninja group is saying, oh no, Karen, no worries, because we'll still get the information anyway. I think Karen knows something legally, and she, in order to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt in a court of law, is going to have the actual login information with the routers and the logins, because without that, it may get kicked out of court. I think she
Okay.
is a little bit brighter. I just have a sense that she
It's
has,
her Columbo moment again.
yeah, it's that Columbo
Okay.
moment again. So this is what's very interesting about this. Cyber Ninjas, Katie Hobbs, and I'm going to have you pull up Katie Hobbs's tweet that I just sent you a few minutes ago. They're all saying, we're not giving you the routers. You don't need it. It's a security breach to the people of Arizona. We know that that's fake, phony, and false.
Mhm.
What is going to have to happen is, if by the end of the month, if that information is not given, Karen Fan said they're going to go back to court again because they have a subpoena. Now, there's a really cool, I think he's a senator or congressman that I follow, Josh Barnett. And this guy is up there with Wendy Rogers. These guys are patriots of the first order. And they're like, the subpoena alone will allow the, what do they call that guy? The Secretary of Arms or Security of Arms, the
Sergeant of Arms.
Sergeant. Thank you, Lisa. Without that, we just go in and take them. I mean, in other words, there's no additional court information. We can go arrest them and jail them and get that information. So this is what's happening now, you guys. We're in the mechanics of our system functioning. What I do love about Karen Fan, she is sticking by the letter of law and she's sticking by the Constitution. Maybe we don't all like her answers, but she's doing it for a reason. And the reason is a respectable one. She wants the truth to the Arizona people, no matter what that truth provides. And I respect that. But there's other people that are tweeting out that are in Congress and in the Senate that seem to have information that says otherwise. But it's coming down, you guys. It's coming down. Now, Lisa, I gave you, and you guys, I'm going to have to get on my tablet to see because I can't see, Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs, we spoke about her a couple of weeks ago. I mean, she is the liberal that wants to turn Arizona blue because Arizona is technically purple right here. So Lisa, this is the last one I sent you, and it says Crooked Arizona Secretary. Okay, I just want to revisit her because she's going to be in the news. Mark my words. Okay, so you guys can all see this.
Yeah, it's open.
Okay, so she did something that is anti-state of Arizona Constitution. She defied the Constitution. I don't know if they're going to arrest her. I don't know if they're going to kick her out. But basically, as early as October, and this article walks through the whole process, she actually was calling people to set up a voter hotline so they could call in and register by telephone to vote. And she was told to stop it. It's illegal according to the Constitution of Arizona. And top officials said, you know what? You can't do this, Katie Hobbs. You just can't take the law into your own hands and start calling people over the phone that you have no ID, you have no anything, and just start, we'll register you over the phone. And that's what she did. And they found this out. And this article has all the information. And I will say this. I'm going to stand up for Governor Ducey. He said the responsibility of the election officials is to uphold our Constitution and laws. It is not only a crucial responsibility, it should stand as the final test on whether changes to our election policies and procedures are appropriate. No exceptions. Ducey wrote to Hobbs on Tuesday. So he wrote to her and he said, lady, this isn't going to fly. You just can't take it into your own hands, turn the state blue, it's purple, and start mandating like you're some kind of dictator.
Dictator, yeah.
This is not a dictatorship here. And I applaud Ducey for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, the reason I want to show you this, it may sound kind of boring and everybody's antsy. And yes, we all want the election results, but we already know what they are. So what I think is happening, and Lisa, I want you to weigh in when I say this, this is part of the Great Awakening. This is part of the educating of America. This is part of taking our country back. Maybe somebody has this video. Maybe someone shows it to one of their children who is leaning very, very liberal and fascist and communist because they think they're going to get their student loans paid off, which is not going to happen. And when they start to see the people that they've elected are operating outside of the constitutional law, being completely disrespectful of the process and procedure that's supposed to take place and wants to change the laws, this speaks volumes as to who and what the agenda is. And it's not a good one.
Well, and even if they do get their loans paid off, at what price? At the price of your constitutional freedoms, which, let's remember, what the Constitution is based on is your God-given rights, your freedoms. So you're willing to give up your freedoms for debt that you were willing to take on?
Exactly, Lisa.
That's You're literally willing to give up. That's like selling yourself into slavery.
I couldn't
I
agree with
mean,
you more.
that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So, yeah, I can't wrap my brain around that at all.
Well, and I love the fact that I have to dig for this information and here, there, and everywhere. And I just bring it to your attention because it's the devil's in the details
I'm
on this
also
thing.
really frustrated with the accountability that seems to be lacking.
Mhm.
I mean, conservatives are being, hand slapped, and I have friends that are being visited by three-letter agencies for being in a general vicinity where something might or might not have happened. And but this is actually happening. There's Congress people costing the state of Texas I think it was 1.3 or 1.6 million dollars to take a trip to avoid their work duty responsibilities, and costing taxpayers, over $1 million. Then, and no consequences to them, no consequences to her for this. Um, you know,
Right.
Mr. Miss Dr. F doing all these things, funding, what is it called? Gain of function, whatever.
Mhm.
Where's the consequences? I'm tired of it.
Well, Lisa, you're preaching to the choir here, and I think everybody in your audience feels the same way too. And that's why I circled back to this thing called
Don't
sentiment.
say circle back.
When I saw those photographs of Paris, and I don't know if you want to pull one. I think I might have even sent you one.
Y-
The
Let me.
thousands of people. You know, the Champs-Élysées is a very large, it's almost like a promenade. It's huge. And the area is huge. And to see the amount of people, as I said, this is not like France, right here, Lisa.
Yes, I have it.
Okay,
I'm showing
beautiful.
it.
Okay, super cool. I mean, listen, these are countries that don't do this. I know we want this, Lisa. I'm with you, and I'm not saying I don't feel the same way, but at least it's starting to open up. People are putting their foot down for accountability.
Yeah.
You, as President Macron, have no legal authority to tell us what to put in our bodies. You, Katie Hobbs, have no authority to march your little butt into Arizona and a one trick pony and start saying you're going to turn Arizona blue. No, no, it's not going to
Well,
happen.
and so on Fake Book today, there was somebody in one of the groups saying that a local nursing school was forcing nursing students to take the prick, or they refused to let them graduate. And so this parent was saying, my daughter is trying to graduate, and they were refusing to let them graduate and receive their diplomas and get jobs unless they took the prick, which is completely illegal. Not only is it violating HIPAA, they shouldn't even be asking about whether they are or not. It's none of their business. They can't. It goes, against all of that. And I'm like, just tell them no. And then if they refuse you, sue their ass. And, I'm hearing it over and over. I'm watching it on Twitter, people going, "Oh, my job's forcing me to do it." I'm like,
Right.
"Let them fire you and then
Oh,
sue
yeah.
their ass."
Oh, yeah.
But these
Oh, yeah.
people are afraid, to do it. And, I'm in a different situation. And I'm grateful that I, am in a different situation, and I'm, trying to be compassionate. But, when we look at go to the government website that talks about adverse reaction and realize the risk you are taking and what they're asking you to do.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
it's
Lisa, absolutely. Here's what's happening, you guys. I'm convinced. We have more states now, after they watched the hearing last Thursday, more and more states jumped in. Texas just jumped in. Pennsylvania now is moving forward to the forensic audit. They have to do a legal process like Arizona did. Okay. More and more states are jumping in. Now, this is what I'm telling you guys. It's look here, don't look there. I think, now I'm putting, this is my conspiracy theory, putting my tinfoil hat on. The reason now we have the new variant of the infection, isn't it interesting? It's coming out right at the time when suddenly one of the biggest
mhm,
truth bombs in
right.
American history is about to be dropped and forever shape the culture of what could happen here in our country and take away our freedoms. Isn't it awfully interesting that now the topic everywhere on all of mainstream media is be scared, stay in your house, you better get the booster,
Mhm.
this is now
Well,
going to
now
hurt
there's
you.
monkeypox in Texas.
And now there's monkeypox.
Yeah.
Now, Lisa, I think this is called look here, don't look there. They want us distracted.
Well,
They
also,
want us,
Amy, the day that the Arizona information came out
uh-huh.
is the same day that I had all these people posting that that the child tax credit hit their accounts.
Yes.
And oh, that everyone was talking about, the money. And I was like, you guys, they're paying you to be distracted. I mean, it was like
Wait, wait.
pornography.
Oh, Lisa,
It's
it's
like
actually yes.
getting paid to.
And wait till the government mandates that in order to get that money that you have to download their app that's a tracker. So if someone is around you, like they have that NIE or NIH
Oh,
in Britain right now, I was just researching that this morning. They have this app that you load into your phone, and then it tells you, it beeps you and says, you are within proximity of someone who has not been vaccinated. Get away, get back in your home, self isolate. If this isn't friggin' frightening, I don't know what is. And so all the Britons have to download the British have to download this app. And then it buzzes you all day saying, you're within proximity of someone. So this app is like going into people's bodies and able. So if you're got this app on your phone and you're shopping and I walk by, you're gonna, because I'm unvaxxed, you're gonna have to, oh, I'm a deplorable. Let's just put it
well,
that
I've already
way.
had people threaten me on fake books, so I really don't go on there very much. My own little brother was posting nasty things about, because I had, anyway. Um, but I've already had people threaten it to report me on there. Um, and now I guess Pataki came out and said that they're going to have be encouraging people to report their friends and neighbors for being domestic terrorists.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Lisa, we're deplorable. We're
Mhm.
domestic terrorist. Oh, by the way, forgot white supremacist. We're white supremacists. Don't you know that?
So when they came and visited public the other day, they
Mm-hmm.
left their card,
Okay.
and one of the things they said, keep our card close by, and if you know someone
Oh,
that's a and I can't remember the exact word, but basically oh, I wish I could remember the exact word, but a radical 45 supporter let us know. And he was like, I'm a 45 supporter. And they go, oh, yeah, but no, we mean like violent. And he's like, I don't know any violent 45 supporters. And they were like, okay, well, just let us know. And that was like the beginning of the disturbing things for me that have been happening lately. And then, I had some clipboard people show up at my house the other day, and my mother's unable to call me on the phone anymore. She gets a message that says that the person that she's trying to call is not receiving phone calls anymore.
right.
When I try to call public, I get the same message, and he goes, nope, says no missing calls. And I have the same thing. It says no missed calls. So,
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
I've been having really weird stuff going on with my phone.
which you had sent me that article that said they would start working with carriers and intervening and stuff. So, I mean, and then part of me is like, but is this what has always been happening? And is this bringing from dark to light? Is this the good guys are in control and they're showing us
You
what
know,
was the plan or what has always
was
been,
big, right?
you
And
know what I mean?
I know, and you know what? I've been thinking the same thing, Lisa, and I'm beginning to think you're right. I'm starting. I know what you're saying, and for everybody who might, I just kind of jumped into Lisa's head and pulled out that thought.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean I didn't.
No, you're good.
But what really is happening here is that I almost think that this is part of the good guys being in control. Like, and
And showing us.
I do believe Karen Fan is a good girl, good guy, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think she has to walk this very painful process so people can see the infraction and the criminality and the fraud and the crime. I want Lisa to you to show the vaccine. Oh, I don't even know if I can say
Oh,
that.
whoops.
Whoops.
The prick.
Yeah, it was, I said, end of show topic, prick law, RE children. We're going to show that now, even though we're not quite at the end of the show, because
Okay.
this is going to play into your head right now. This is a woman who's doing what we're all doing right now, and people in your audience are awake. They're talking.
Oh, I saw this today.
This is fabulous, and we need more people doing this. But this is a bold move for this woman, and she is doing what more and more people are starting to do. They've had it, and this is what she has to say.
Okay, I've got it up. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Hold on. So it says mic drop moment. It's only 10:37 a.m. I'm calling it. This woman who owned the Orange County School Board on vaccine mandates for kids has won the internet. So we'll let her tell us what she thinks.
Rights attorney. Late last week, I am informed a meeting occurred between Orange County Health Officer Dr. Clayton Shaw and Orange County Board of Education Superintendent Al Maharas, during which time they apparently tried to find a way to, quote, sidestep and entirely remove informed parental consent for the COVID vaccine and also turn Orange County school campuses into vaccination centers. The COVID-19 vaccine is an experimental medical protocol authorized under the Emergency Use Authorization Act, and as such, you cannot mandate it for anyone, nor can you sidestep informed consent. There is a reason that kids cannot smoke, drive, drink, have sex, vote, or die for this country. And it is because the law says they lack the capacity to understand those decisions. And that applies here more than ever. Hear me loud and hear me well. We will not be morphing our school campuses into COVID vaccine centers for delivery of an experimental medical protocol that killed every damned ferret in the last animal study they did until such time they had to abandon that study. And then they didn't even do the study this time around because we are the study. The last time humans launched a plan like this to conduct experimental medical protocols on vulnerable populations was in Joseph Mengele's direction. He was an MD known as the Angel of Death. Okay, and he was part of the SS, and in 1943, he was assigned to Auschwitz, where he saw an opportunity to conduct gene research, quote, focused primarily on children with no regard for the health or safety of the victims. This is off the internet. You can Google it. You know what else is gene research? Experimental COVID vaccines with the trans gene inside of it. If you don't believe me, go pull the EUA application for the J&J shot. I come from a long line of Eastern Europeans, Hungarians, and Romanian groups that fled the persecution of the Red Terror communist death squads in the early 1900s. And those of us who didn't make it to America ended up facing the Nazi death squads in the lesser-known Holocaust that was the Romani Holocaust. There is a reason my daughter is named Katya. Her Romani great-grandmother was Katerina Choma, and I, for one, have not forgotten the lessons of our history. The Third Reich did not end with experiments on children, nor when those children died. The Third Reich ended in 1946 when we put the doctors who committed these human experiments on trial in Nuremberg, and then we put them to death. It ended with the adoption of the rights attorney.
So that actually was not on 2X. That's just how fast she's an attorney and she speaks that fast. And the only thing that I'll argue with her is that it didn't end. And
No.
that's the biggest lie that we have. It continued. And we brought all those scientists over through Operation Paperclip. You guys go look that up.
Mhm.
And that's what we're fighting right now. And that's why there's so much hidden. And that's why a lot of this doesn't make sense. And that's why we're confused going through all this, is that we're fighting this hidden war
Mhm. And
through all
Lisa,
these lies and secrecy.
I'll take it one step farther. You got to understand, we were lied to in public school. Most of us in my generation, there was this little pretty picture about America and all these things we do wonderful, when in reality, I agree with you. If you look at Papa Bush's grandfather, I can't even say on here. We're talking about a direct bloodline. He came over as a Nazi. Papa Bush was born here, went to Yale, where they indoctrinate them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a direct result of a grandfather that Papa Bush was friends, I guess, and had strong ties with Hitler. You can Google that and find it out if it hasn't been taken down. It never ended there. It never did. At Nuremberg, when they publicly executed the scientists and also the media, you guys, there was some kind of media back then that put out all the propaganda. The people went to the streets and they lined up to watch the public execution. What was that, in 1936, the Nuremberg trials? I'm guessing 38, 39. Guys, I don't have my little thing right in front of me, so give me some grace on the date. It never ended there because they came over to America and they brought those politics with them, and then they birthed the children that went on to be implanted as Republicans in our system. That's why we're so confused, Lisa, because we thought it was ended. We thought it ended in World War II. We thought it ended on the beach of Normandy. That was all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And 250 some odd thousand of our boys were killed for this. This shows you the extreme they will go to.
Right.
And until we go right to the top and find out, first of all, who are they? Is it the Rothschilds? Who is it? And until we find out who they are and take out the full line, because they are having kids. George Soros has how many kids? This is deep. This is wide.
I even think if we even know their name, that's not the real they.
Could very well be, Lisa.
I mean, I just think
this is so over our heads, you guys. And we have been so lied to as Americans, starting from the age of our children, like the millennials and the kids that are being born. Think of these children being born today that think that masks are normal and that they protect you from viruses. Think about the little kids all walking around, 2, 3, and 4, that think masks save them from the boogeyman.
Well, it's just heartbreaking to me to watch. So with all the foster care and adoption work that I did, we went through a lot of training and learned about bonding with children and how important that is. And especially I didn't get Jax until he was like 11. So I was trying to learn about bonding with him. And God created this breastfeeding for a reason. And that's because physical touch, that sweet talking to each other and physical touch and eye contact at 18 inches is important. And when babies are seeing their parents like this and everyone else in their life This rewrites things in children's brains.
Yes.
Kids are in theta till they're 7. We are rewriting these children's brains. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Oh, Lisa, I mean, don't even get me started on the kids because
Damaging. It is child abuse.
Of the highest order. Of the highest order. And if masks worked, can you put on the little thing I put you of Nasty Nancy? Do you have that one, Lisa?
Yes, because I saw it come in.
Yep. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm not, listen, I don't wish any ill on anybody, but she is in a different category. The White House official Pelosi aide tests positive for COVID after meeting with the Texas Dems. So what happened is Nancy Pelosi, her aide, and a bunch of those ladies on the airplane that left Texas, abandoned their jobs that we did the show on last week, have all tested positive for COVID. Now, is there any one of you guys that remember seeing Nancy stand up at any congressional Speaker of the House meeting and she didn't have a mask on? We know she got vaccinated. She was the poster child for wearing a mask. If all that stuff works, then why is she sick?
Well, she probably got her hair done, and she doesn't wear a mask when she gets her hair done.
Her hair done.
So it's probably why.
Yeah. And so, this is just another thing. And oh, by the way, those ladies on the airplane last week that fled their jobs, that was costing the taxpayers $43,000 per day per person to have those.
Yeah, I heard it was $1.6 million or $1.3 million or something. Right. For their total little jaunt to DC.
To DC, to enact illegal voting laws that do things like ballot harvesting, call people on the phone and say, oh, you want to register, don't you? Well, let's put you down for Democrat because we do know that you want to vote for Biden. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they do over the phone. Don't kid yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't kid yourself. And so, I got to say that if there's people out there that have made choices to put their kids in masks, when you see all these people getting sick that have had 2 and 3 jabs, what's the point? What is the point?
I don't know.
I mean, people got to start thinking, you guys. Listen, and you know what I'm here to say? This is what I got to say.
Especially when 60%, I read something the other day that said that over 60% of people that are hospitalized are double pricked.
Right.
So
yes.
What's the point of getting that?
Right. Well, the point is we can't talk about that on this show.
Yeah, right.
For those of you that have liberal friends that watch the news, Lisa, put up President Harris on Fox.
Oh, I saw that too.
This is unbelievable, you guys. It's subtle. But if you look at the bottom, the banner, check this out.
Remember when her husband did this? Do you remember when her husband did this?
No.
Her husband did the same thing when they were campaigning. He said, I don't know if he introduced her or if he said, I can't wait till he made some he was either introducing her and said like the next, President Kamala Harris, or he said something about, I can't wait till she's President Harris. But her husband made this statement during campaigning. I'll have to see if I can find it.
Well, here is something that when you're having a talk with someone who is going to say, oh, the audit, cyber ninjas is this. I heard it on the news. I say, you keep this little thing and just pull it up and say, okay, let's look at Fox News. Is Kamala our president? Well, they say right here she is. Right here.
And so I was, I had my first little junior college thing. I did a journalism thing. And these things are checked and double checked. This isn't like an accident.
Right.
So once again, I think the good guys are in control. I think they're showing stuff. I think we're in a movie. Like, I don't know.
Well, listen, you guys, we're all going to go through emotional ups and downs here.
Hmm.
This has been a long slog, but when I look back on the history, like what we talked about earlier about the Nuremberg, this is so deep. And we just like we never got out of the 08, 09 crisis, we've been lied to. And we're paying the piper now. There's no free lunch anymore. The system is unraveling. The financial system is unraveling. We have rampant medical data fraud, and I mean rampant. But the whole globe right now, you guys, is waking up. And that, I think that we get so buried in the depressing side of things, especially we're tired, we're tired. But we have to understand, when you see the amount of people that showed up in France, when you see the amount of people that showed up in Italy, these are people that are doing things they've never done before.
Hmm.
And when is America? I mean, in other words, at some point, you guys, and then
I think Australia will stand up first, and I think Canada will stand. I think they'll do the mandatory. I think it'll do the mandatory jabs or pricks, and I think that's what will unite the people, and they'll stand up. And I think America will be last. Um, but I think that we unite the world, and everyone will say enough. And I think Jenny Alicia brought up a great point, and it's like we all had this, in our chat, we have a great community. And I think we all kind of were feeling it um, on Friday
yeah,
with Clint Westwood. And I was like, I had a rough week last week. I think several people kind of messaged me, and I really appreciated that they're reaching out to me and could see I was struggling with some stuff, because I really was pretty angry and scared and
right.
mad and struggling with some emotions. And Jenny said something, and it kind of triggered it for me. And she was like, and I remembered that Kraken video, and it talked about how they needed to put the pilots in the Kraken because they needed to train in the Kraken to have that vagus nerve response, because they were losing too many pilots,
Yes.
because they needed to have that visceral response to be able to save themselves. They had to go through the emotional, physical, nerve response to
Hmm.
be able to train to get themselves out of it. And so I think for us to become enlightened, whatever you want to call it, move out of this old reality, this old, I don't even know what to call it, paradigm, and the way of doing things. And like we said, we thought the war was over, and
Yeah.
it's never
Right.
ended. But for us to
Right.
really move past that, I think we have to have, even though we may be safe, we may be in a movie, and I don't say that for people to sit on their hands and not take action. I think we have to have that stand up, fight, get angry,
Yeah. Yep.
not
Right.
violent, but
Right.
learn your constitution, learn your rights, stand up for yourself, teach your neighbor about your constitutional rights, educate yourself, protect yourself, protect your family,
Right.
all
Right.
of those things. And I think that is how we go through this thing and come out the other side as a strong nation, a strong world, caring about our brothers and our sisters, you know, and move through this. So I
Right.
think that although it's uncomfortable and it's taking too effing long,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be real
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it is necessary. So
Well, talk about someone who's fought the fight. Rudy Giuliani. We're going to end with there's a little video, Lisa, when you scroll down, you
yeah,
open up, and this is a man that's been beat up. He's been, he has just been everybody's doormat. Many, many years as a very successful litigator, disbarred, had his license suspended recently in New York, but he has still the driving him to come on was either yesterday or today or a few days ago. And I want to end with this because he is a senior member of our society. He's seen a lot go down, this man. Love him or hate him, his message in this is real. And I think it's a good way to end the show because I think he kind of says it all, but he never gives up that glimmer of hope. And I don't think we should, because this is deep, and we came here knowing we were going to fight this fight. And everybody has something to contribute to this. And our job is to find out what it is moving forward, because I got a feeling this is going to get a lot more. This could get ugly, guys. This could get ugly. And let's hear what Rudy has to say about truth and the electoral situation, I think, in Arizona and other states.
Okay, hold on. It's doing like a on this day in history. Is that the video? No. Okay, I see. I found it.
Okay, good.
Let me see here. Let me make sure you guys are seeing it all here. And remember that, so attorneys see and hear, and like you said, he's a senior member and he's been through a lot of things and been in a lot of cases. Attorneys see and hear things in the background. So he has a lot of history and has been exposed to a lot of things that he has a lot of knowledge about things in the background that he'll never be able to talk about.
Right.
So I think that's another point to and we're going to talk about beer. Oh, crap. Hold on, guys. Oh, I'm going to have to watch an ad to get through it. Oh, crap. I can't even get through it. Hold on, Amy. It's not going to let me. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get through it without you guys having to watch it. Things to do in Anaheim. Give me just a minute, because it's like...
Lisa, if you scroll down to the second picture, it's where you can just click on and start it. It's the second picture down. Not the one at the top, but the second one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on.
Okay. Do you want me to resend you the link?
No, I'm on the link, but it doesn't matter. It's so the second one talks about this day in history. Then the next one down is an ad that you have to watch. Like if you go to click for it.
Let me show you mine.
Right. Flatline his political career. You stood tall in the breach.
Wait.
Tell us, given where we started, where we are.
Maybe you can just play it then.
Okay, so you guys, I'm going to put it right towards my microphone.
Okay. I'm going to remove myself then, so you can.
Yeah, and if you can't hear it, somebody in the chat say, Amy, we can't hear it because there's no sense in listening to it.
Can you hold it up or something?
I'm going to hold it right in front of the microphone, which is away from my camera. Okay, so you'll be able to hear it.
Hey, with this now exploding all over the country, how do you think we're doing, and where do you think this heads?
Well, I think Arizona is going to be, you can't really dispute it. The numbers and the categories are sufficient to really change the election. I mean, we're talking about at least 200,000. It's probably going to end up being more illegal votes, clearly illegal. You've got about 60 or 70,000, which we always thought were there, pieces of paper that were not official paper. Well, that's going to be true in Georgia. That's going to be true big time in Pennsylvania. Essentially, what happened was they had to make up ballots because Trump was winning. So the reason they were asking for the Sharpie pens or whatever, because the experts found that about 78,000, I think that's the number, of the paper in Maricopa County is totally phony paper. It's totally different than the paper that was official, that was sent out. It's not even been folded, and it looks like it's marked with the same Sharpie. So I don't know what else you need. That 78,000 when the margin was 10 or 11,000. You've got votes. You've got votes by people who weren't registered on election day. I mean, So what you know what that really means? They're really, in large measure, if you go out and investigate, these aren't really people. This is what you do when you slip in phony ballots, and then you got to assign it to somebody. So they had 18,000 voted and were removed after election day. They probably found out they had 18,000 people that didn't exist. So they wanted to get those out before the audit. Then they had 11,326 that were not on rolls on November 7th, but were on December 4th. Well, if you're not on the rolls on November 7th, you can't vote. But they probably did vote, but they had no registration assigned to them. So between then and December 4th, the crooked Democrats assigned them to a phony registration. They gave them a name. But I mean, the total one that decides the whole thing is 74,243 mail-in ballots with no evidence of ever being sent. Now, that's a euphemistic way of saying those are ballots that were made out by Democratic operatives.
Rudy, just hang on. We're going to bring you back after the break. By the way, this is why it's the...
Okay. I hope you guys could hear that. Lisa?
Sorry, I'm muted. Yes, it was great.
Okay, good. I'm glad you could hear it. Sorry, you guys. It was the best I could think of to do. He says it very directly, very New York style, very succinctly. He uses words like operatives, dirty Democrats. Okay, that's fine. But if there is actual fraud found, it's going to open up a whole... That's when the arrests start happening. I think that's one of the things we should hope for now.
Well, I mean, that's, once again, there's all this stuff that no action was taken for Katie Hobbs opening up a phone line. Everyone knows she did it.
Right.
Slap of the hand. Not even that. They just said, stop doing it. She said, okay, but it was already done.
Right.
Nothing happened. No consequences.
Well, as Americans, I think the onus is now on us to stand up, and everyone's going to have to figure personally, what does that mean to them? Everyone has a personal way that they do it. Lisa and I are doing our thing by doing this show.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own way, but I would urge everybody to start to really search their soul and say, what can I do to save? Because if we don't do it now, you guys, like Lisa said last week, there will be no 2022-24 election.
I think it's all rolling out, and we just have to stay educated, which I think I really appreciate all that you do, Amy, to bring information to everybody. And I think everybody in the chat, stays connected and brings information. I get people sending me stuff all the time. I really appreciate it. And I think that's the best that we can do, is by sharing videos like this and sharing information, staying connected, not disconnecting and saying, oh, it's not for me, or doesn't, don't affect me.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best thing that we can do, is staying engaged and staying on the front lines. That's all that we can do, and pray for America, pray for one another, and that's the stuff that we're supposed to do. So I appreciate all of you guys in the chat. Please give us a like, share this video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Woo Woo Wednesday with Public. Let's see if he's had more trick-or-treaters visit. All right, take care, everybody. See you later. Bye. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I'll be on Satoshi Sean channel in 30 minutes. So jump over there and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.